showtime.
Hey, welcome to Did You Watch Survivor Last Night?
I love our podcast. Welcome to Did You Watch Survivor Last Night?
This is Did You Watch Survivor Last Night, a talk show where we discuss what happened on the most recent episode of Did You Watch Survivor Last Night. What did we talk about last week? We talked about trying to get Jeff on a jet ski, excuse me. And then I think that was about it, right?
I think, yeah, maybe.
Yeah. All right, anyway, my name is Jake Scheidel. This is a podcast about reality television and friendship in which I ask my best friend, Thomas Powell, if he did indeed watch a certain reality show. Hey, Thomas, how you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing all right, Jake. Just, hanging out.
Relaxing, acting all cool.
Yeah, just chilling. Speaking of b-ball, NBA season has started.
So good.
The Detroit Pistons are 2-1.
2-1.
What's the
Pretty good
basketball
record so far.
team in your town? How are they doing?
The Detroit Pistons, they're 2-1.
No, I
They're
mean in
the only team for me.
I mean the city that you're living in. How's that basketball team
Oh,
doing?
I honestly have no idea. I've not been following the Bulls at all. But I would guess bad.
They're
I would guess
extremely
they're not doing
bad. They're 0-2,
That's not
and
surprising.
they're very bad.
Didn't they lose everybody who played for them, and now it's just Tom Thibodeau?
No, Tom
played
Thibodeau
this-
is not their coach.
Tom Thibodeau also was fired. He was also kicked off.
Tom Thibodeau has not been their coach for like 4 years.
It's it's Bully the Bull or whatever that the mascot's name is.
Yeah, Benny the Bull is
trying
their
to-
coach.
Benny the Bull. He is their coach and also their sole player.
No, a
against,
fun fact about their new
full
coach, Fred Hoiberg, is that he has some sort of heart issue where he can't wear ties because they're too tight.
What?
Where he might die.
Is this real?
Yes.
Why don't you just tie your tie looser?
Look, Jake, if that were an option, I think he would have tried it.
But I just don't understand why he would do that. Okay, well,
Yours is not to reason why. Yours is not to tie a tie around Fred Hoiberg's neck because it'll kill him.
Is the new commissioner of the NBA also Dr. Seuss, Theodore Geisel?
This is true.
More like Theodore Geyser because he moved to Yellowstone. Everybody thought he died. He actually just moved to Yellowstone.
I thought you were going a different direction with that.
Nope. There are two topics that are always
Or
on my
like-
mind: Yellowstone and Dr.
Or like
Seuss.
Theodore Geyser because he comes like a fucking fire hydrant.
Or a geyser, perhaps. That's why he has so many kids. Hey, how do you feel about sulfur? Sulfur in water? My cum smells terrible. Alright, well that was a really good episode of Welcome to Did You Watch Survivor Last Night? Let's get back to the real show. Hey Thomas, did you watch Survivor Triple H last night?
It's all about the game and how you play it. All about control. And if you can take it, all
Oh boy, yeah, I did.
Oh my god. I want to get past it. But I can't stop thinking about Dr. Seuss coming like a geyser.
Yeah.
That's such a funny image.
There's actually, he had to have someone following him around, you know, like with geysers where they have someone telling you when, like, Old Faithful's gonna go off or whatever.
Yeah.
Someone that's like, alright, 10 minutes from now.
It's gonna happen in 10 minutes.
Watch
Get
out,
ready.
everybody. Make sure you stand back.
Clear out like 90 feet for this dude. It's like he's not even doing anything. He's just walking. Can't trust Dr. Seuss's cum. Those are words to live by. Should we stop talking about
Yes.
All right, this week's episode of Survivor, Triple H. As you know, it's time to play the game. This week's episode was called I Don't Like Having Snakes Around, which I have to assume was an Indiana Jones reference.
Yeah, that was one of the best parts about Indiana Jones was that he hated snakes, but he couldn't just say, I hate snakes.
Yeah.
He had to
more
be
poetic
like, I
about
hate
it.
having snakes around.
Yeah. These snakes, I wish they were not near me. I wish there was more space between me and these snakes.
That's always one of my favorite parts of Indiana Jones is that he uses like 20 words where 5 will do.
Yeah, well, that's why it's won best screenplay
Written
at
by
every
Aaron
Oscar.
Sorkin.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones.
That is a movie I would watch.
That would be fucking terrible, and I would kill myself if I watched it.
There would not be any action or anything. It would just be a lot of Harrison Ford talking to Shia LaBeouf about, like, history. And they're, like, walking to a tomb, and by the time they actually get to the tomb, they're like, all right, credits. It's a great film.
They would have, Marion would be like, she would help Indiana Jones be the great man that she knows he can be, but then also she would, like, be unable to do anything on her own and would accidentally have a bunch of really embarrassing slapsticky moments where it's like, I'm a woman, I can't. I accidentally sent an email to the whole office about how we're having sex.
I clicked reply all. I sent my nudes to everybody named Indiana. Everybody in Indiana.
Stupid woman. I don't know how computers work, but I do know that Indiana Jones just has to man up and be the greatest treasure hunter of all time.
Indiana Jones, are we in Indiana? Is that why that's your name? I don't know how people get names.
Do you Indiana me, or are you in Indiana with me?
Mr. Jones? Like, she's a big Counting Crows fan,
That's
just
my
like
favorite
me.
part of the Indiana Jones franchise is that the Indiana Jones movies, but instead of the Indiana Jones theme, it just plays Mr. Jones.
It's like where there's usually the score
with just Mr. Jones
and me. I would love that. Every time any part of the score or soundtrack comes in, it's just Mr. Jones.
La 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 la.
Why isn't the Counting Crows doing more scores for Indiana Jones movies? Do you think they stopped making Indiana Jones after... A lot of people say they stopped making Indiana Jones after Crystal Skull because it was so terrible. But actually, it's because they've always wanted Adam Duritz to do the soundtrack, and he's just always said no, and they're like, we can't take this anymore.
Yeah, they're like, well, look, the window is closing on this. So. Yeah. Much like the door that Indy has to go grab his hat before, he slides under, but he forgets his hat, and he gets the hat before he leaves.
That scene is referenced in one of the Shrek movies, on one of the Shrek soundtracks, Counting Crows. That's probably why they can do the indie movies.
It's all
because they were working
connected.
on Shrek. We figured it out. Thanks, Illuminati. Fucking assholes. Alright, so the three tribes in the show Survivor, Triple H, it's time to play the game, walk into what they expect to be the next challenge, and Jeff Probst tells them, drop your buffs. And then they draw new buffs for the three new tribes.
It always sounds like he's trying to get them to strip.
Just like Alan Ball. Why do they call him Alan Ball? Because he's always looking at balls. Getting people to strip. First episode.
Sure. Good one.
I agree. New Lavu tribe who was originally the Heroes tribe. Episode, what is this, 4 or 5?
4.
4. Episode 4, they finally tell us. Also Harrison Ford. Also, no Adam Duritz. That's why that movie sucks. Any movie that doesn't feature the Counting Crows is a piece of shit and deserves every Razzie. Any movie that's won an Oscar that doesn't feature the Counting Crows on the soundtrack, they should give the Oscar back.
Han Solo getting frozen in carbonite is just like, it's been a long December and there's reason to believe. Like, oh man, this is sad.
Yeah. So how is he singing? I can't believe he can move his mouth. The New Lavu tribe, they were originally the Heroes. Oh, I was going to say, episode 4, they finally tell us the tribe names. Whatever. So we've got Alan, Joni, Ashley, Devin, and Desi. I like about 2/5 of that tribe. I dislike 1/5 of that tribe, and I'm okay with the other 2 people.
Sure,
That's my opinion on those people.
You like Desi and Devin?
Correct. Double D's, baby.
You don't like Joe?
Correct.
And then you are indifferent to Alan and
Ashley.
Ashley, yeah.
I call him AA.
Out of nowhere. Vintage.
The new Soko tribe, who was originally the Healers, is Allie, JP, Chrissy, Rourke, and Ryan. It seems like a fine tribe. Right?
I mean, I like Rourke.
I like Rourke.
Allie.
Allie is good. Chrissy is good. Ryan, is who he is. I mean,
yep, he is definitely himself.
He's the young Sheldon of this show, which we all know. So that's like a point against him, I guess.
I can't imagine him making all of the really dumb, smug faces they had that poor child actor make. So yes, I think that is a proper assessment.
And then the new Yawa tribe, who were originally the Hustlers. Process of elimination, you could have figured that out. Healers, Heroes, Hustlers. This is the old Hustler tribe. We've got Ben, Jess, Cole, Lauren, and Mike. I like the most people on this tribe of all three tribes, I think. Ben, Cole, and Lauren are all decent. Jess is... I'm up in the air about Jess, and Mike... Old Sheldon. That's what I call him. But I like this tribe more than the other two tribes at this point. But Ben says that he is scared moving forward because he lost Chrissy. And I'm like, I get it, Ben. She was your partner in crime, as they say. So then they do the reward challenge, and the reward is what Jeff calls a peanut butter and jelly bonanza.
I thought he said peanut butter and jelly bananas, and I was like, what the...
So,
why did you phrase it that way?
I also thought he said peanut butter jelly bananas. I was like, okay, that's cool, I guess. So they get peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and a side of potato chips. No bananas. Which, I actually, thinking back, is what I appreciate most about the Survivor versus the challenge. No bananas.
That's a good point.
That's why this is the superior show.
Remember when we wanted to have him? Remember when
that was a mistake.
For a long time
those were dark times.
To get him on.
The only person we want to see on Survivor now is TJ Lavin. Hashtag TJ on Survivor. Use that hashtag. Tweet at him. His handle is at TJ Lavin. Okay, so they have to attach 3 people to ropes and then untangle themselves and then pull some puzzle pieces on a sled and then solve the puzzle. First tribe to finish wins the whole thing. And that tribe is Yawa, my favorite U2 song.
Yawa. Very nice, Yawa.
Yawa. Back at camp, inside Jess's bag of potato chips, there is a secret advantage.
What if she accidentally ate the advantage?
She said she almost did. She was like, I saw a really big chip in there. It was a secret advantage. I almost ate it. How great would that have been? Like, what would the producers have done if she ate the secret advantage?
What if she only noticed really the secret advantage when she shit it out? And brought it.
But when she shits it out, it's like a different power. Like, you have 2 options with this advantage. Use it to block someone's vote, or eat it, shit it out, dig through your own shit, and then you have immunity until final 3.
Yeah, then you win.
So yeah, she gets to block someone's vote at the next tribal council, but if they win, she has to send it to someone on the losing tribe. I remember when the season started, they were like, "Oh, there's going to be a lot of advantages this season," and I was like, "This might be an issue." Like, I don't change anything, Survivor, but so far I'm loving every single advantage.
They're all like very specific advantages, and I like that a lot of them you just have to use immediately.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the way to do it because, I mean, the idol obviously is always a solid investment because it helps build trust and also saves you for an episode, and you can use it whenever, basically. But yeah, these expire immediately advantages. Yeah, they add a lot to the show. And it's like if somebody's always looking for the idol, but nobody finds it, there's all this paranoia for nothing. Whereas these advantages, you know you're going to get something out of it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's a good time. Great show. Love it. Jess tells Cole and Mike, who were originally her healer buddies, and then Cole tells Ben and Lauren, but Lauren does not trust him. I gotta tell you, man. Lauren is shining. She is an all-star. She's going to win this whole thing.
You think so?
Probably not. She'll probably be voted out, like, final 5, I'm guessing, right now. But yeah, I expected literally nothing from her. I expected her to be out episode 1, and she's just exceeded expectations every episode.
Yeah, she's good.
She's, like, I think her biggest strength is, like, she's always suspicious, but doesn't ever let that, like, make her anxious about her own gameplay. She's, like, always a little suspicious of everybody, but doesn't let that influence her alliances or gameplay at all. She's a good player.
I agree.
Over on the Soko tribe, Ryan tells Chrissy about the initial super idol that he gave her, and so they're friends now. Young Sheldon and Sheldon's mom. That's what their alliance is called now. It's a long name, but I think it's fitting. Have you seen Young Sheldon? Chrissy looks just like his mom. Okay.
Ryan looks just like young Sheldon.
He does. He's the exact same person. I didn't realize that you could be under 18 to be on the show, but Ryan is.
As long as you can only be under 18 if you are a character on a CBS show.
Yeah, so there's Young Sheldon.
Years ago, the kid from 2.5 Men.
Yeah, and then also every kid from Kid Nation could have been on it.
Oh, hell yes.
I'm so curious about Kid Nation. Like, I talk about it all the time. I talk about it more than any other show I've never seen. It's my favorite show I've never seen.
It's one of the weirdest. It's maybe the most interesting and bad, like, reality show idea I've ever seen.
I like the concept. Like, kids working together. Like, Lord of the Flies, great book. I'm pretty sure there was no murder in Kid Nation, and also fewer Nazi parallels, probably.
Also,
again, I haven't seen the show, but
the thing I wonder about is what parents would allow their children to be on that show?
Yeah, I have the same question, because you would think, like, oh, parents who, like, want their kids to be stars, but then, like, a bunch of the parents sued the production company for, like, not paying them enough because they were, like, treated them as actors rather than contestants on the show. I don't know. We should do a whole episode just about that show. And
we've thought about it. Couldn't we just not find any, like, actual video of it?
Yeah, the few times I have looked for episodes, it's been hard to find. And I'm sure that CBS, like, tried to scrub it from everything because it was kind of a mess for, like, both legal and I don't know, television reasons. I don't know. But yeah, it's just, I think I'm so interested in it because I can't find it. I'm sure if I watched an episode or two, I'd be like, this show kind of sucks, but I'm so entertained by the idea of it that I really want to see it.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
All right, so over on the Lavu tribe, Ashley tells us that she's not excited to be stuck with Alan, but they agree to work together because they're both heroes. They could be heroes just for one day. David Bowie, R.I.P.
One of them will fly, one of them will die.
One of them will save the cheerleader, one of them will die. I'm surprised that we were 5 episodes into talking about this season, and that is the first heroes joke that we made.
For some reason, I was trying to think of another Heroes reference, and the only thing that came into my head was Zoom Zoom.
Oh my god!
Which is not a Heroes reference, it is a reference to the Mazda. Remember when that was a Mazda? I think that was just that dumb kid going, Zoom Zoom.
Yeah. I mean, I think those are probably I'm sure a commercial where the kid went, Zoom Zoom. Well, played during an episode of Heroes.
I don't doubt it. It had to have happened.
I can understand the confusion. I was watching Zodiac last night, and there's the scene where the cops interview Norm from Fargo.
Yep.
And they, like, look at his watch, and it says Zodiac on the watch, and he's like, oh, he's the Zodiac killer then. And my immediate thought was, oh yeah, just like Siler in Heroes. Because it said Siler on his watch. That's where he took his name from.
I forgot about that.
I think that was the first time that everyone was like, wait, this show kind of sucks, right?
Yeah, this might not be good.
we thought this was sci-fi loss, but it turns out it's just a worse everything. You think of every piece of pop culture, make it worse, you've got Heroes.
It's true.
So anyway, speaking of the old heroes, Alan and Ashley decide to go after the healers. Joni, though, tells Devin that they are targeting him since he is the only one from the Hustlers tribe. I think, speaking of things that are worse than people initially thought, I don't think Joe is good at this game. I think he thinks he's very good at this game.
He thinks he's really good.
But he's not. He's not. He is... I think he thinks he's already won.
Yeah, like, he's like, I got an idol.
Yeah.
Well, all he talks about is, like, how he's like, I've deceived everyone.
Yeah. It's like, no, you just annoyed everyone. The Yawa tribe, Lauren wants Mike to turn on the other healers. Jess finds out that everybody now knows about her advantage and asks her healer buddies if they had told anyone. Mike says, I didn't do it. Don't look at me. And Cole is like, I also didn't. I'm your boyfriend, and we can trust each other. I think that they should call Cole Gervais because he's so good at lying.
Oh, boy. Almost like he invented it.
Seems like it. Eventually he breaks down, though, and tells her that he told Ben, but not Lauren. Another lie. He's a veteran of lying, just like Ricky Gervais.
Look, you brought this back, okay? You can't blame me for this.
I love it. Immunity challenge time. They have to maneuver some puzzle pieces through an obstacle course and then solve the puzzle. It's every immunity challenge that has ever been on this show. They do their thing. Yawa takes first place. Soko takes second place, which means that Jess has to get rid of her advantage because her tribe did not lose. Then we head back over to the Lavu tribe camp. Ashley talks to Devin about Joni, and Devin says that talking to him was like talking to a car salesman. Devin?
Yeah. That's actually a very, very good description of him.
Yeah. Do you think that, like, after a car salesman sells you a car, he goes back into the office and is like, totally got him, totally deceived him?
Every time. Every time he's like, got him.
I wonder if there have been any car salesmen. I'm sure there's been a car salesman to play this game, but
I bet there has.
I can't think of anybody off the top of my head. Ashley promises Devin that she and Alan are not targeting him, and then they hug, which is witnessed by Desi, who goes and tells Joni. And then Joni comes up with a strategy to put all the focus on him in order to protect Desi so that he can play the idol on himself. This is a very bad strategy.
Yeah, I don't know what he was doing.
As like, look, I know I'm going to have to play the idol.
To play the idol, like to purposely try and get everything so that you can play the idol immediately. Like, you don't want to do that. Like,
a better strategy would be to try to convince one of the people from the opposite tribe to, like, turn on their partner and vote them or the odd man out, rather than being like, look, I'm going to have to use the idol anyway, might as well be on myself.
Yeah,
save your idol for when it matters. You're out fourth or fifth, it doesn't make a difference.
He's not a very strategic player.
But he thinks he's a very strategic player.
He thinks he's incredibly strategic.
Ugh. So everybody's in the shelter eating or whatever, and he asks, what's going to happen at tribal council? And like keeps prodding them, and eventually Alan is just like, okay, if you want to talk about this, who are you voting for? And then that becomes a whole thing. And after the whole fiasco, or Fiasco Joe...
Oh, hey, there we go.
Joni tells Desi that he has the idol, so she'll be fine, don't worry about it. And she says, no, now they definitely know that you have an idol. You came in too confident. Why don't you play the idol for me? Desi. Smart. Desi. Good strategic player.
Desi understands that saying that you're confident is bad.
Yeah, what happens if somebody else says you're confident, though? I don't think those rules have been established.
No, I don't think they have yet.
As they prepare for tribal council, Devin looks in his bag and finds Jessica's advantage, and it tells him on the outside of the advantage to not read it until it is time to vote. And oh, buddy, it's a good one. But before we get into that, I think it's about time we talk about maybe some wildlife shots.
Oh yeah, baby. The best
This whole show is just an excuse to talk about some wildlife. Yeah. So there were a lot this week, which I appreciated. There was a chameleon, there were some crabs, there was a heron, there was the banded sea crate, there was a fish, a whale, snake, obviously, and then first appearance by your son, Roland the Bat.
Sure.
Been a while since we've seen him.
Making his triumphant return.
Finally. And we also saw a little something called an orb weaver spider.
Okay.
It was a black-bodied thing. It had a big yellow, like, mushroom-looking back. It was cool and also creeped me out a lot. So, I'm a big fan. Basically, when you're thinking of a spider, just off the top of your head, you're probably thinking about an orb weaver spider. That's like a prototypical spider. There are over 3,000 different types, or 3,000 different species of this specific type of spider, which is so many.
That's a lot.
I didn't realize there were 3,000 different types of spider at all. Tarantula, black widow, what was the one you saw in your room?
What, wolf spider?
Wolf spider, and now these orb weavers. That's 4. And I guess scorpions.
Scorpions aren't spiders.
They got 8 legs.
Daddy long legs. Scorpions, I think they have 6 legs.
Scorpions? Look it up. Scorpions have 8 legs, I promise you. Scorpions, crabs, octopus, and spiders. They're all the same. An octopus is a water spider. A sea spider. An underwater spider is called an octopus. That's a fact. You can look that up, too. They're all the same animal.
Jake, I have some bad news for you.
You were wrong. I'm sorry, buddy.
No, actually, it looks like we were both right.
What? How were we both right?
There are scorpions with 8 legs and scorpions with 6 legs.
Huh. How many different types of scorpions are there? That's the real question.
Probably a lot.
Yeah, scorpions are creepy. Okay, so to build its web, the orb weaver spider will jump from one branch to another, basically riding on the wind to get between the branches. Then it goes back to the middle of the first string and creates a Y shape, and then just, continues construction around that. Usually, once prey flies into its web, it will bite the prey to kill it and then wrap it up. Unless the prey is venomous, in which case they will do the opposite. They will wrap it up and then bite it to kill it. Pretty clever little bugs there. They generally will build a new web every day. Did you know that?
That's pretty crazy.
I thought it was like, all right, here's my home.
Then if it got destroyed, then it'd be like,
then they would
time to
recreate
build a new one.
But no, it's a new one every day, and they will eat their old web. And then rest for an hour.
So they're basically eating their own poop, is what I'm getting from this.
Yeah. What is that called? Isn't that a thing? It's probably like a Tara Banks show thing.
Yeah.
There's probably an episode about that. Okay, so that's cool. But do you want to talk about how these spiders fuck? You want to talk about how they get their fuck on?
How do these spiders fuck?
Okay, so males
how is Spider Babby formed?
Males will slowly traverse the web, trying not to get eaten, and then will mount the female.
Folks, but enough about my Tinder life.
Yeah, it's a real gross parallel. Sometimes it will build a secondary thread, and then try to attract the female via vibratory courtship.
Again, why are we talking about my dating life?
Often the male will be eaten at their first attempt at copulation. like 80% of the time
Buddy.
that will happen.
Buddy, I have been there.
The ones who do survive, though, usually don't make it past their second attempt at copulation. And the ones who...
How fucking horny are these spiders that it's like, oh, they tried to eat me, but...
I gotta
get back out there.
Gotta get that nut. Gotta get that spider nut.
Yeah, I just got a bus real bad.
The ones who do finish, I guess, I don't know the exact mechanics, if they leave within 5 seconds, they have a better chance of surviving. Like 5 seconds for the entire interaction, not like...
I mean, look, I could have told you that. Gotta fucking run, baby.
Yep. If they stay for more than 10 seconds, though, they don't generally survive.
Yeah, then you get married. Old ball and chain.
Yeah.
These women, man, I tell you.
Can't trust the spider. It often results in cannibalism, but prolonged copulation enhances sperm transfer and relative paternity. Ain't that the truth? And final fact about the what were they called? Orb weaver spiders. Some females are 9 times larger than the male. That seems like a large ratio.
Look, some people have fetishes about that. Okay, that's what some spiders are into. All right, I'm not gonna let you kink shame them.
I would never kink shame a spider or anyone for that matter. Let the record show I'm not kink shaming anyone, especially a spider. You know what I want? This has very little to do with what we were just talking about, but do you remember that episode of the animated Spider-Man series where Spider-Man has to go through
with all the Spider-Men, and also Stan Lee is God in it?
Yeah, and they have to go to the different universes and like interact with the other Spider-Men. I want them to make a movie of that with what's the kid's name? Tom Holland as like the main Spider-Man, and then he has to go to the Tobey Maguire universe.
And the Andrew Garfield universe. Everyone in the Andrew Garfield universe is like, let's get out of here.
Yeah. Where are you from? Can we go there?
I hate being here.
I feel like I'm in 500 Days of Summer. All right, so let's discuss this tribal council. Not much happens during the discussion period. That's not the most important part of this one. It's basically just Joni versus everybody. And at one point, Jeff says, "This is like a movie. They want to get the bad guy, so they get his wife," implying that they're going to vote for Desi.
Wait, what?
Yeah. They were like, you can't vote out Joe for some reason, so you're going to go
Jeff,
for Desi, right?
Why do you think this is a common trope?
It was, isn't that a thing in the Batman movie with Maggie Gyllenhaal? I guess Batman
wasn't... You want to get the bad guy.
Maybe he said bad guy.
Bad guy.
He was like, they want to get the bad guy. We can't say Batman. It's copyrighted. You know that Bat guy, he fights crime not in the daytime? Night is also copyrighted.
He's like a male. Batmale?
The Batmale? The Batmobile? Yeah, that was a really bad metaphor. This was a bad tribal council overall. I also don't like how they are trying so hard to paint Joni as the bad guy of this season. They're like, we cast this villain to be a villain from the outset. And it's like, no, the only reason he's bad is bad at the game, am I right?
Yeah, like he's incompetent.
Yeah. So that all happens, and then Jeff tells them it's time to vote, but Devin stops him and reads his secret advantage and says, this is being used against you to block your vote. And then he looks up and goes, that is not an advantage. Such
mean that they did that.
Yeah. Just like perfectly delivered by Devin. So everybody goes to vote except for Devin. Jeff asks for any idols, and then Joni waits a long time to stand up, which I realize is just editing, but I didn't appreciate it. And then he asks if he can play it for anyone or just for himself, and Jeff tells him that he can play it for anybody or himself. It's up to him, and he plays it for himself, of course, and he ends up getting 2 votes, which don't count, with the other 2 going to Alan Ball.
Alan.
You lost. You lost the guy. Doesn't feel good, does it, buddy?
I figured it was coming.
Yeah. Just like Theodore Geisel with his geyser dick.
Yep, Old Faithful is what he called it.
Mm-hmm. He also called it Old Faithful because he never had sex with anyone but his wife.
That's a real man right there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, do you want to discuss these points?
Yep.
Okay. Thomas, you have 19 points now. Good for you. Rourke and Allie survived this episode. They broke up into 3 tribes, which you had predicted. Yawa won immunity and reward. Good for you.
Even when I lose something, I still win. How many points did you get?
Oh, I have a solid 11 points now.
How many did you win this week?
I won 2. I won 1 for Desi surviving, so that's something. And then also Soko won immunity, which I had predicted. So basically we're the same.
Yeah. 19, 11, they're the same
Never
number.
forget. I mean, basically. So you've got Rourke and Allie left. I've got Desi left. And the show continues. Do you want to predict what happens next week?
I do.
Okay, who do you think will win immunity?
I think that the Yellow Tribe is going to win immunity.
Okay, I think that the Yawa tribe will win immunity. I believe that is the Red Tribe. What do you think, though? What tribe do you think will win reward?
I will say that the Yawa Tribe wins reward.
I'm also gonna go with the Yawa tribe to win reward. What do you think the reward will be? I have my guess.
I am going to say that it is hamburgers.
You think they're going to win hamburgers this week? That's interesting, because I'm, pretty sure that episode 5, they always win tools to make a shelter. So I'm going to go with that one.
They already have a shelter. I think
maybe
the time has
improve
come and gone for them.
Maybe Home Depot sponsors the next episode, and they get some hammers and nails.
All right, go for it, man.
Thank you. Who do you think is going to get booted off that cliff by Jeff Probst and his big boot? It's a very dark season of Survivor. People just falling off cliffs.
Remind me who is on Yawa and who is on the Blue Tribe.
Yawa is Ben, Jess, Cole, Lauren, and Mike. Lavu, they're not called heroes anymore. Joni, Ashley, Devin, and Desi. Did I guess already?
I'm going to say Ashley gets voted off.
I'm going to say Cole gets the boot.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I hope he's not on the tribe that I said would win. That would be difficult.
You're just hedging.
Just edging, am I right?
Hey.
That's why Theodore Geyser.
Yes, I was going to say, so you're trying to be like Dr. Seuss.
There were, Jeff Probst said that there were 6 references to the Foo Fighters in this last episode. On Twitter, I didn't see any of them, but maybe I'll rewatch it and check it out. I don't know what they could even be.
I did think it was weird when he opened the show and he was like, "Hello, I've waited here for you. Everlong."
I'm not up on my Foo Fighters trivia, so I
don't want to be a monkey wrench.
Honestly, I couldn't. I know that they're named after UFOs. Oh, maybe there was a UFO in the sky in one of the shots. And they're like, Foo Fighters. We should play up this.
Yeah.
Also, like, why the
Look
Foo Fighters?
into the sky to save me. Looking 'cause I'm tired of trying. Make my way back home where I learned to fly.
Yeah. There was another thing I wanted to mention before we go here, but I forgot what it was because I didn't write it down, I don't think. So we'll just save that for when I remember, either later in this episode or next week. What was it about? I don't remember. It doesn't matter. Eric Reichenbach, old classic guy from Survivor. He wants a season of Survivor in Alaska. Tweet at Jeff Probst on Wednesdays, 8/7 Central.
Speaking
Survivor,
of old
Alaska.
Survivor people, did you see that there was a former Survivor contestant at that fundraiser for the guy that's running against Maxine Waters in California?
No.
That Dan Ninan did a set at.
Oh, okay.
Millennial comedian Dan Ninan, and also Joe Arpaio was there.
Mm.
Yeah.
Who was the person running? I want to not vote for them. I want to move to California specifically to not vote for that.
His name is it's something Navarro. It's like Eric Navarro or
Oh,
something.
Dave
like
Navarro.
That. Yeah, Dave Navarro from Jane's Addiction. But yeah, there was also apparently a thing where someone was like playing Maxine Waters in like a skit that they did where there were a bunch of people like beating someone that just kept saying free speech with like baseball bats, and then the guy that was running came and resurrected her and then took off the wig that the person playing Maxine Waters had on. It's one of the most bizarre things I've ever heard. But also Dan Ninan, there's video of it, I highly recommend you watch it, was making a joke where he was like, a year ago, it's like on my block a year ago in New York, I live in New York, somebody set off a bomb in a dumpster, and he's like, it was like a big deal, it was national news, and he's like, actually they found out later though that it was just someone trying to charge a Samsung Galaxy 7, and all you hear is the guy recording it just go, ugh. And then you hear someone in the crowd go, come on. It's so good.
Oh my god.
Also, apparently, after he finished his set, he led everyone in the Pledge of Allegiance. It's one of the most bizarre things I've ever heard.
Cool.
Let me look up really quick. I just want to see who the former Survivor contestant was.
Was it Rupert? I know he's a Republican.
It wasn't. It was not.
Oh,
It was a woman.
Was it Tina? She was on Australia. She won Australia. Was it? I don't know. Everybody's shitty. Speaking of Republican reality stars, apparently Champs vs. Pros, the challenge last year, or whenever that was, CT was told not to talk to the rest of the Champs team about, or maybe this was Invasion, either way, not to talk about politics because he and Darrell were the only people who weren't Trump supporters on that side.
Seriously?
Yeah. So everybody you thought was cool is actually not cool.
Wait, so who else was on the side with him?
On CT's side?
Well, I'm saying who else? I'm saying it was him and Darrell, but who else? Who were all the people they couldn't talk to?
On the Champs team, there was Bananas, obviously, Zach, Ashley Kay, I think.
Okay.
Cara Maria, Camilla.
Cara Maria's a Trump supporter? Come on, Cara Maria.
I know.
I'm not surprised by Camilla being one, but
yeah, she's I'm so upset. So they're down to like the final 8 or whatever on the challenge, and fucking Camilla halfway through the season had a racist tirade against Leroy, and is still on the show, and Leroy isn't.
Yep. Oh, it's Anna Kate, by the way, who I guess was on a season we watched recently.
Yeah, she was on
She's on Korong.
She was on Korong. Okay, yeah.
Anyway,
okay.
yeah, she was at that thing.
Cool. Glad we figured that out.
I remember. Yeah, she was the poker player.
Yeah. You made fun of the show a lot for, like, having aerial shots whenever she was on screen.
Yeah, they were always just, like, boobs.
She got boobs, you know? CBS. So many boobs. That's what it stands for.
Anyway, it's really funny that she was at this event, the dumbest event in history.
Yeah, I gotta look that up. That sounds like a mess. And I love messes. Call me Billy Mays. You can use the hashtag TJ on Survivor.
I'm a messy bitch and I love drama.
Hashtag TJ on Survivor. Tweet at TJ Lavin. Say, TJ, we want to see you on Survivor. We want to see you get on the beach, play some games with some people, starve yourself a little bit, maybe win a hamburger, maybe win some tools to make a shelter, and then win the whole thing. Maybe that's why he's not hosting Champs vs. Stars, because he's on Survivor.
He's going to be on Survivor.
I hope so. You can follow us on Twitter, DYWSLN. You can follow me on Twitter, Jake Scheidel.
Right, I also have one. Follow me at Tom.Tom.
There we go, okay.
I changed my spooky name to Scream Abdul-Jabbar.
That's good. I liked Ann Coultergeist.
Ann Coultergeist was also good.
Yeah. Man, Halloween's in like a week, and then we're going to have to all change our names again.
Yeah, we can't have fun spooky names anymore.
I mean, we could, but what's the point?
Yeah, I mean, Halloween will be over, so...
Yeah, the only good time in the entire year.
The only good time of year. Halloween. I agree.
You can like us on Facebook if you want. DIDYOUWATCHSURVIVORLASTNIGHT. That's how you spell Did You Watch Survivor Last Night? Oh.
Got it.
Email us to didwatchlastnight@gmail.com. I thought of an idea for the Survivor Simulator if we ever do that. Just like famous dogs. I think that'd be a good season.
Yeah, like...
That's... okay.
Because men are dogs.
You got that right.
Wasn't there something related that you were... Did you already talk about this recently? There was something I remember you telling me about him.
There was a commercial for his show when I was watching Survivor, and I got really mad. We don't have to talk about it.
During Survivor, like, here! You make me do this here!
You can review us on iTunes. 5 stars for that. I took a lift the other day. The guy played real bad music, and I was like, I would give you 4 stars for your poor musical taste, but I gave him 5 because that would be mean. And I refuse to be mean. Ever. Don't be mean.
I will never be mean.
What else is happening? Oh, I have another podcast called Popular Welchers. Last week's episode, we debated which is better, Avatar: The Last Airbender or Spotlight. And let me tell you,
that is a very interesting 2 things that are not at all like to compare.
That's the show. Yeah.
I actually would pick Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We just finished it this week, and it's a good fucking show.
It's a really good show. Spotlight is good, but
it is also very good. Both of those things are very good. So listen to that on whatever device you use. We don't have vinyl records of it, so that might be a little tough to come by. But it is on the internet, and everybody has the internet. I think the time has come to say, have a great summer.
Trips.
Evolution is a mystery, full of chains that no one sees. Clock makes a fool of history. Yesterday's too long ago. Don't agree with what I know. Tomorrow got no place to be. I see the line in the sand.
I gotta tell you, every week that passes with this show, and every time I read Triple H, I'm like, man, I can't wait for Ghost Island. So I can stop fucking saying Triple H. I literally wrote in
Time to play the game.
I literally wrote in my notes at one point, healers when I meant to write heroes. It's such a bad...
It's one of the worst themes I've ever seen for this. It might be the worst one I've seen. It might be worse than Millennials versus Gen X, because at least that was a coherent theme.
Yeah, and, like, that is a part of, like, conversation, sort of, like, in real life.
At least we don't have Jeff just being like, Millennials as well, trophies.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of 24-year-olds on this season. You can get a participation trophy for getting on the plane over here.
What, are you guys gonna quit because there aren't any avocados on the island?
I'm sorry, we're not in Mexico. Like, idiot Millennials. You should be in Gen X. Or better, because baby boomers ruined the economy for us, but we were too stupid to realize, idiot. Millennials suck, and I'm the only good one. Jeff Probst is the only good millennial.
I was gonna say, isn't Jeff Probst a baby boomer?
Jeff Probst, no, I think he's a little too young to be considered a baby boomer. I think he's an old Gen Xer, or a very young baby boomer.
Is there anything in between there?
I don't think so.
Really?
I would look it up, but I don't really care.
No, I don't really
care. I
think
baby boomers are like our parents' generation, and then like Gen X is the generation between us, and then we're the millennials.
The thing is, I do actually think there's usually other ones that just don't get as much attention, because like the generation that's just a little bit younger, a little too young to be millennials, is called like Gen Y right now or something like that.
Yeah, but that's what they tried to call us too, and we're like, no.
Yeah, okay.
We're not going to be called that.
I would rather be called Gen Y than millennials.
More like Gen Y, W-H-Y, am I right? Or W-H-Y, the way you're supposed to spell that word. It's like, why do I have to do this? Why do I have to play soccer? Do I get a participation trophy? Ugh. Millennials, am I right?
Ugh.
I don't like calling a generation, other than Gen X, like, a letter. Because then it's like, oh, so you're just... After 26 generations, we're just done. Naming generations?
There's
like,
no
that's
there's no more generations. We don't have any more letters to name them.